Welcome back to another episode of From the Point by your favorite point. Brought to you by Sprite, the clear favorite. We are back on Bleacher Report. Got my guy Winston again with me.
What up?
You already know. Yeah, my boy. And now this episode we're joined.
Cut. You don't have to do that again. Let me give you some energy. Do it again.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of From the Point by your favorite point. So we here. We joined by, y'all obviously have heard it, the 4-time NBA champion, 3-time Finals MVP, Hall of Famer, the legend Shaquille O'Neal. Appreciate you.
Welcome to the show, Shaq.
Hey
Shaq.
man, first of all, look at me when you talk to me.
Yes, sir.
See, I'm gonna mess with y'all all night, but I'm gonna help y'all.
For sure.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Look up, look who you're talking to, look in the camera. Mm-hmm. The more views we get, the more money you get.
Yes,
all
sir.
Right? Don't be nervous. I'm Shaq, but I'm a regular guy.
Yep.
He's my favorite player because him and Steph Curry does something I wish I can do. They're some of the best shooters in the league. So don't be intimidated by everything I've done in my present.
Right.
Because this is your money. Okay, I know he got that NBA money, but he got 2 new beautiful babies at the house. You want to make all the money you can get. So fuck them note cards.
Yeah.
Speak from the heart and just ask you, and don't be nervous. I got your back. I'm going to make us all look good.
Man, that's great. That's great.
What's your name again?
Winston.
Thomas. All right, let's go, Thomas.
Yep, I'm Thomas. Welcome to the show. But when did the awe start? I think it was the 2021.
Never been a Hawk fan.
Okay.
Right. Played the game 19 years. Was a fan 19 years before that. Seen a lot of things. You don't really see what him, Steph, and Dame do on a consistent basis. Shoot from that far back. That's why Steph, him, and Dame, they're my favorite players. And he's made it very exciting to be a Hawks fan. So, you know, he's a Hawk, and I think that's the sound that the Hawks make. And every time I watch him play, he's very exciting. So I just be trying to, you know, get people involved, let people know who he is. Because in this thing of ours, there's a lot of guys that's me. But I done been there, done that, and got paid. It's time to pass the love. Trae is that guy in Atlanta, and I live in Atlanta. I want to show him and his family as much support that I can.
That's awesome.
So when I do the thing, nobody was doing it. And it just brings, you know, attention to him, brings attention to the Hawks. And whenever I do it, they win. So, you know, I played, I did a lot of things, but I was a guy that jealousy always made me go to the next level. When I first came in, I was the first pick, this and that, but you go around with Charles Barkley and the Jordan and the Magic and all the love that they got, makes you jealous a little bit, but then makes you say, okay, here I come. So when I watch him, Steph, and Dame, I wish I had that. And like, so when I'm on NBA 2K, I'm them. When I'm at the crib around my boys, I don't do dunks and do post moves. I'm like Trae, Steph Curry, Dame Lillard. So, you know, it's just my love and support for him and the thing, because he's one of my favorite players.
Well, I appreciate that. I've always appreciated you showing me love. I know you recently they just announced that you're going to get your jersey retired in Orlando. I know that's where you started your career. You made your name even more in other places, but that's where you started. So what does that mean, getting your jersey retired in Orlando, where you started?
I don't know if you know about my high school career, but when I first started out, I was the guy that wasn't good enough. So sophomore year, I got cut, wasn't good enough. Coach said and I was living in Germany. I wasn't even in the States. Coach said, you're not good enough. But I'm the guy that I love to prove people wrong. So got back to the States junior year, 35-1, 36-0, win the state championship. But what it taught me is that life is like goes up and down, because I went from nothing to the #1 player in Texas. Now when I go to LSU, it's a guy that's similar to him. His name was formerly known as Chris Jackson. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, his name. Shoot that thing just like him. So now I'm at the bottom again. But I had the blueprint on how to work hard. So now I'm the #1 player in college, the #1 pick. Now when I get to the NBA, I come in at number 30, right? Even though I'm the #1 pick, it's still guys ahead of me. So now I said, okay, so I knew I had to work hard. I enjoyed working hard because I wanted that spot. So luckily when I got drafted by Orlando, they were not a good team. So I had the triple green light right away. So when you get the triple green light, I knew what to do with it. I knew I had to just keep getting better and keep getting better. And, you know, the business of basketball took over. I didn't finish my career there after 4 years. I decided to, you know, do something else. But for them to give me the call and say, hey, we want to retire your jersey, I think it's a wonderful thing. Dwight is probably next if they do another one. Penny Hardaway should definitely be in that conversation. But to be the first to have my jersey retired with Orlando, I think it's a wonderful thing because I knew I had to put in work. Like when I talk to the youngsters, I tell them, don't be satisfied when you reach your goal because there's more goals to reach. Like when I first got it, I was making 40 for 7. I was like, damn, I'm one of the highest paid players. And then Big Dog was talking about 100 million. I was like, man, I got to pick my game up. Then I got 100 million. And I got another extension. So, you know, even though I emerged as, you know, one of the top young players, that wasn't enough for me.
You and Wilt Chamberlain are the only 2 players in NBA history to have your jersey retired.
And that pissed me off.
Why?
Because, listen, we all like titles. I wanted to be the first. Like I always tell people, when you talk about the greatest of all time, if I'm not unanimous, don't even bring it up. Like, so, you know, when they talk about the most dominant, it's 1 or 2 names. I'm happy with that conversation, but it would be more empowering to me if they say Shaq was the most dominant player ever. See, like him, when it comes to the greatest shooters, it's him and 3 other guys. I don't know how he feels about that, but I never liked that. So when my mother told me the other day, she's like, baby, you're the second, I was happy, but I was pissed because I wanted to be the first. Like, for example, I would have been the first unanimous MVP, but one guy gave 1 vote to another guy, so Steph became the first unanimous. That's also pissed me off, but I'm happy about it. But when I played, I was always searching for titles because I like to stand alone.
Do you think anybody else will achieve that feat?
Maybe LeBron, Cleveland,
Miami,
and LA, maybe, yeah.
LeBron.
Maybe.
And you already mentioned Dwight is probably going to be the next Orlando Magic, so that's great.
Do you think it's long overdue? I know it's always an honor for them retiring a jersey now and whenever it happens, but I mean, I'm thinking of guys like Penny. I think of guys like you. Like,
I try not to complain a lot. You know how the business of basketball is. They're going to do what they want to do, and if they decide to do it. But if I have to solicit you to do something, then really should it be done? Like when they talk about the top 75, if you have to state your case on why you're not top 75, my question is, are you really top 75? Again, I keep going back there. When they talk about the best shooters in the game, his name going to always come up because he's one of the best shooters in the game. It ain't, what about this guy? So like if you're on that side of the conversation, I never want to be on that conversation. It is or it isn't. And if it ain't, or if you have to think about it, don't even mention my name.
That's a great point, actually. So you made it to the finals in year 3, but didn't win your first ring until year 8. You talk about that medium, you know, what it took to get over the hump. What did it take for you to get over the hump and take that next jump as a player and be able to lead your team to actually win a ring?
Trae understands this. When you're the best guy, everything falls back on you. So my advice to him is to make sure he's always ready. Make sure he gets his guys ready. First championship, I take full responsibility for not being us ready because we celebrated too early. Everybody was scared of Michael Jordan. I was not. That's why I won thousands of dollars in bets who was the last person to beat Michael Jordan. Nobody knows. Oh, he went 6-0. I'm like, oh, yeah, remember the year when he took off and came back and they played us? I'm the last guy to beat him. So after we beat him, he was happy. And me and D. Sky, we had about 9-10 days off. We had a lot of meetings at Magic City. You know what Magic City is?
I do know what Magic City is.
Yeah, so we had 10 days off. And it's like, bro, we beat Mike. Yeah. We good. We about to take it. And we had played well against Hakeem. So, you know, they won 1, we won 1. Wasn't intimidated them. Showed them probably too much respect in the finals, which is why he dogged me out in the finals. But I didn't know what it took to win a championship. And that's why I always said if I ever got back, I have to dominate. I got to do what I do. Like, okay, you're averaging 30 now, you got to bring it up to 40. You got to tuck that elbow in on the free throw line and at least shoot 60%. You're not going to shoot 70, 80%. Right now you're shooting 50, but down by 1, we need this free throw. So I had to step up as a player. I had to make sure everybody else was ready. And it was something that I wanted. So, you know, when you're that guy, Trae, you got to take it upon yourself to make sure it gets done every time. Because when we do well, we get all the credit. When we don't do well, that's our fault. And they start talking nonsense, like trading us, and like it's just the business of basketball is very, very difficult. But if you have that leader mentality, you have to do it your way and do it the correct way.
I feel like it'll ultimately work out like it did for you. I hope that's how it works out for me. But for me, that's before we get into the Lakers. Like, if you had to judge your version of Shaq and Magic, your version versus LA Shaq, what do you think the pros and cons for both of them were? What was better?
The Shaq in Orlando was a runner. That's because I used to get the ball. Penny was a pass-first guy. When I got to L.A. and guys, wanting to do their own thing, rightfully so, had to slow it down a little bit and, just say, okay, so when you get the ball, do your thing, right? When I get down here, make sure I get to do my thing. The L.A. Shaq was more dominant, more focused, had better help around me, and the general didn't panic. What I mean by the general is, and like I always say this on TNT, if the general doesn't panic, which is the coach, then the players won't panic. Because I've been in a situation where coaches don't know what to do, and then Phil was like, nope, I'm not calling the timeout, you guys figure it out. And he treated us like men, and he let us figure out. And I had another dog next to me. I'm not going to sit here and act like I did it by myself. I had a dog next to me who had the same mentality that I had. If I'm going to average 40, he was going to try to average 39. So that's 79 points right there. So if you get that, then you get everybody else stepping up. We were supposed to win, and we did win.
And that growth as a player, I'm sure you had people in your ear, both on and off the court, that were very difficult of you, that were very challenging of the player that you were trying to become. You have been that for a lot of guys now in the league too. You've been critical of Zion. You've been critical of Donovan Mitchell, Joel Embiid. What type of responsibility do you feel as an ex-NBAer that's still around the game to be able to advise these guys?
Only a negative person would look at it as critical. But if you know who you are, you should look at it as information. And I've said this many times. Like, if I look at him and say he shouldn't have took that shot, he's either going to say, okay, I'm going to keep taking it and make it this time, or shut you up, or he's going to listen to what I'm saying. Like, you know what, maybe I should step in. Not making fun. Don't need to make fun. When I give you information, I'm giving it to you raw. I'm giving it to you like I would give it to you if we was playing. If I was playing with him and he took a crazy shot while I'm in the post, I would say, Trae, don't take that shot, right? But again, as a player, you know who you are. Shaq, shut your ass up. Watch this. You hit 5 in a row, I can't say nothing.
Right.
Or you listen to what the big man is saying, who's won 4 championships, say, you know what, maybe he's right. So a negative person will look at it, oh, he's hating. I can't hate. Giving you information. What I've always learned about criticizing, especially from players that's been there and done that, if you've been there and done that, I will listen to you, right? And if you do criticize me, I will listen to that and see if there's some truth into that. Like, Shaq could be one of the greatest players ever, but he was a terrible free throw shooter. He can't be mad at that. That's the truth. Yeah, I averaged 40 and Jordan averaged 39. I did that, but there's some truth in what you're saying, so I really can't get mad. So I learned that when I was in L.A. I was putting up big numbers. And they asked Kareem, what you think about Shaq? And Kareem said with a straight face, yeah, I know y'all think he's a great player, but is he a really great player? They ain't winning. How can I get mad at that? That's Kareem. So when I say something with the G14 classification I had, can't be hate, because I've been there and I've done everything that you guys are trying to do. It's really information. So when I say I watched Zion, he wasn't running, he wasn't trying to get easy points for himself, and he wasn't trying to take LeBron's spot. A lot of times I try to put myself in the mindset, and listen, we all have the same mindset. Like when Trae see a guy come and guard him one-on-one, we all got the same mindset. This motherfucker can't guard me. Give it to him. So when I'm sitting there in Vegas and all that thing going on, I'll say to myself, Zion gonna say, you know what? Forget you, LeBron. This shit is mine now. And I didn't see that, and I mentioned it. So they may think it's criticism and hate, but it's information.
But do you think every legend like you thinks like that?
No, and I think a lot of legends don't have to have the capability and the classification to say what they say.
I agree.
So I can understand why y'all are mad, because I used to get mad. Like Charles, love him, great player, but how do you know what it takes to get to the big dance and win? You don't. and that's no disrespect. So I'm not going to listen to you. So again, it depends on how it's said and how you say it. But me, I don't have room to hate, brother. I got too much stuff to do. But when I see somebody that I like, I respect, I'm gonna say it how I would say it, as if we were on the same team.
Well, that's how I feel. Like, I mean, I'm the first person to tell somebody that I don't know it all, and although I've done a lot of things in my career, I haven't achieved the best things and the highest things, but I know I still got a lot to improve and a lot to show, but I can still learn some things. But you can also hear the hate in some old school and some legends' voice, and even though like they can be some of the best players ever, you can still hear it a little bit in their voice.
Yeah, but I always say it from a place of love, because you have to understand the same thing I would tell you in your face. Because it's all about respect. Trae, I don't like that shot. Don't mean I'm hating on him. I don't like the shot, Trae. You the guy on the team, but that was like, I understand you can hit a 30-footer, but that was 35, my guy.
Right.
Bring that shit back to where you shoot it from. Like, dude, bro, we down by one. Right. I'm not telling you not to do what you do, but that's 35 feet, dog. Bring that shit to 30 or 32 or 33. That's the same thing I would tell him as a friend, as a brother. So, so like when I say something that sounds like hate, you should slow it down and listen to what I'm saying. People think I hate Dwight. For what?
Yeah, I don't see
I'm saying, bro, you got to
it.
average 28 and 10 to be dominant.
Right.
And then if you do that, then there ain't no question on whether you're top 75 or not.
Yeah.
If you do that and play like this, you top 75. Right. It ain't no conversation.
Why do you think some of your peers are like that, though?
Because you know what? Be honest, they need this shit. They need it.
Okay.
They need to be felt. They need to be heard. They want people to know that they're important. I don't need to be important. I'm either important or I'm not.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go overboard to say, hey, I'm important. You either think Shaq's the dominant big man or you don't.
Right.
And I'm not going to be doing stuff to prove that I am. Either you know or you don't. So when I used to hear criticism, I used to say, okay. And I use it as motivation. And it helped me. I love being criticized because I have the ability enough to slow down time and read what you said. And if there's some truth in it, okay, watch it. Like, oh, foul him. Every now and then, motherfucker goes 6 out of 10, 7 out of 12, 9 out of 9. Like, okay, you gonna foul me because you think okay, watch this. And it helped me win 4 championships. So, a lot of these players should take the criticism and turn it into motivation.
Sound like you.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, me and Shaq don't have a lot of similarities as far as our game, but I feel like, our mentality and from just hearing you speak and from years going, we have a lot in that eyes. But going over to this big man alliance, I know you have guys that you put in your little list of your big man alliances, and you consider them in this list. Like, I know you put the Joker in it as far as today's game. Is there any other guys that you see, in today's game that you could put in there or have the capabilities of being on their way?
Joker, Embiid, Bol, but he's lazy as hell.
Man, he has so much talent, man.
He's lazy. But people try to jump on me when they said I was comparing him and Wemby. I was not comparing him and Wemby. Like I tell like Charles and Reggie all the time, relax. Relax. Like, Wemby did something and he's 7'5". Very talented player, not hating him at all. Really good. But he wasn't the first to do it. Bol was the first 7-foot guy, 5 guy to bring it and do it with style. Because a lot of, like, for example, no disrespect, Clint Capella could dribble, but it don't look like how theirs look. See what I'm saying? So Bol was the first to do it with style. Social media going to change around, compare him, not compare him, just saying he was the first. Wemby's in there. And so it's only 4 because I like big guys that demand attention, big guys that can play. And I know the game is different. The game is different now. Like, I wish I could shoot. I wish I had the ability to do what Joker and Embiid do. Like, I'm jealous of those guys because as much as you talk about me, I didn't have that. If I had that, I think I would have been a much more exciting player. So those 4. But Bol, I don't know what it is. Like, I coached him 1 game for AAU, and I had him doing stuff I've never seen a guy his size can do. That's why I know firsthand, I know what he can do, but he just doesn't get out and do it. But Wemby, He played you guys last night. He was impressive in the second half.
He was.
Very, very impressive.
He was. Pivoting that a little bit, if there was a guard alliance, who do you think would be in
I like
that?
all shooters because you know why? I've seen all that. I've seen the handle. I've been around this game a long time. Stuff that him, Dame, and Steph do, I ain't seen that. And it's consistently. You can hit one 35-footer or 40-footer, but they do it all the time. They do it too much sometimes.
Yeah.
But a lot of time it goes in and make the crowd go crazy. So, you know, the way I look at those, that they're in like a different category. So I wouldn't put like Luka and Kyrie, and that's no disrespect to those guys, they're similar game. But you're asking me, so this is what
Your
I
opinion,
see.
yep.
Those three, some of the top guards in the game. There's a lot of young guys that are doing their thing, but I enjoy stuff that I haven't seen before. And I haven't seen guys do it like that consistently and as long as they've been doing it.
Have been doing it a long time.
Long time.
Well, nah, I mean, it's been a blessing doing it for.
I got a question. How the hell you can shoot from that deep, but I can't? I know I'm stronger than you. But like, I be at the house, I be shooting the air balls.
It's like football players. You can't lift all them weights and then just expect.
No, but like the ball weighs how much?
I think it's 2 pounds, something
Bro,
like that.
when I'm at the house and trying to shoot from that deep, it's air ball city, and you and like little guys, I'm like,
nah, it's touch. It's touch.
bro, make me so mad.
It's touch. But out of all your years with the Lakers, I mean, everybody knows those years, and from watching you and Cole play, what was your favorite championship year?
Probably the first one, because after all we've been through with Phil, we almost let it slip away. And I can remember in the fourth quarter, Phil's a genius. Because, he came, he said, all right, guys, let's just finish this game out, come back next year and try. And we were like, what? And then we collectively, Cole like, nah.
This is the championship?
Like no, this is the game 7 versus Portland.
Okay.
Because we were down, I think, 15 to 17 points. He came, he said, all right, guys, hey, I'm proud of you guys. Shaq, you got MVP in prime, but we're not going to win this game today. Let's just play it out, see what, like he was like testing us to see if we wanted to quit. Cole was like, nah. Cole, nah, I ain't going out like that. And then I wasn't having a really good game, but I know that, if you're playing terrible and you keep playing, you can pick it up. Like, I'm never going to stop. Like, I'll go 0 for 40 before I'll give up. So I was like, okay, all I need is 2 or 3 of these jump hooks to fall, and I'm going to get back on track, right? And then, the others, who I call, everybody stepped it up. So we just kept, cut it to 9, cut it to 10. I shoot a baseline jump hook. Kobe does what he does. And I'm telling Kobe the whole game, hey, when you get to the rim, instead of doing all that, I'm right there. And that play that everybody talks about, he crossed Pippen up, and he threw it up. And he threw the motherfucker up too high.
Yeah.
He threw it up too high. But I'm stopping time. If I miss this and we lose, it's going to be my fault. Fuck that. Go get that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Count that motherfucker, threw it down. So now, this game over. So now, remember what I told you earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, I got 2 days off. I'm getting fucking 40 in game 1 in the finals. I don't give a fuck who we playing.
Yeah.
I was able to take that moment and get back. So that was a good one. And then, us as athletes. All right, you got 1. Can you get 2? All the motherfuckers who didn't have G14 classification, and they still wasn't giving me my props. Oh, you almost lost that game. And even though you won your first championship, you wasn't playing against somebody. All right, I'm going to get another one. And we win number 2. And the same fucking thing. I'm like, okay, yeah, you got 2. And Kobe and Shaq are arguing, can they get 3? I'm like, okay, now I got to get 3. So, all that stuff that they said and the guys who didn't really have the G14 classification say, all that stuff that they were saying, instead of knocking people out every time I say them, I said, okay, I'm about to shut you the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm about to make you say my name with some respect. And I urge you to start doing the same thing. You ain't got to go back and forth for people and get it. And if you get mad, keep that shit right there. Because a lot of times I say stuff just to test people out. Like the fact when I said that stuff about Zion and he didn't get mad shows me he's not ready yet. He'll be ready. He's still young, but I seen him play mad in high school. I saw one clip where they had a guy his size guarding him, and he took that shit personal. He had about 90 dunks. So a lot of times when I say stuff, it may sound crazy, but if you know me as a person, I'm not that guy. I want everybody to eat. Because these guys are eating good now. Oh, I'm so jealous of these guys making 200, 350, but it's a good feeling to have all that. So If I see something you're not doing it, and you know I played at that high level, I'm gonna throw it out there. But I'm not gonna always go and be like, Trae, you taking a bad shot. Trae, stop shooting that
You
shit.
gonna baby him, yeah.
Yeah, Trae, man, you ought to, like, but it's coming from, you know, a place of love. And the dog that I know he not gonna be like, all right, Shaq, watch this, and come back and shoot that motherfucker again and make it, or he gonna listen to me and just come in a little bit. So, you know, this is what I urge players to be. Stop being sensitive, because I know what I'm talking about. And you know I know what I'm talking about, but I try not to. I'm gonna try to do a better job of not making it sound like I'm embarrassing them.
Nah, man, nah. You ain't gotta stop.
Thank you.
I feel like nah, because the real ones get it. Like I feel like the best players respond. Like Joel responded. Like I feel like and he's an MVP. You know what I'm saying?
Dominating.
And you were talking about him before he was an MVP. So it's like it's just about the best players gonna respond. So I mean, if you won't respond when you can tell a legend is giving you advice to only help you, that's on them. You shouldn't feel sorry about.
You know, they need to understand this. I don't have to hate, brother. I'm like all the stuff you're doing, I'm passing it on. Because I got it from Mike and Magic and those guys, and bro, I can't make all the money. So if I can help you get $250 to $500, I'm gonna help you, brother.
Do you think there's a reason why the dynamic among current players has changed to be a little bit more sensitive to what you would not call criticism, but other people view it as, oh, he hating or whatever?
So if you've never been that good, and you got a podcast now and you're talking greasy, that'll never be taken respectfully.
Right.
Like some of these cats, their podcasts, I'm like, come on, bro, you wasn't that good. Like don't talk like you was that guy. I was that guy. I can talk like this. See, you have to understand about me. If I'm not that guy, I'm not going to talk like I was that guy. But you know I was that guy. So I'll say it. But again, I say it like as if you're my boy, as if you're my teammate. Like if I got to embarrass you, I'm not going to embarrass you here. When I see you, I'm going to say something to you. That's the type of guy I am. So if I mention your name, it means I love you and respect you. Like I used to love Dwight. He did something I couldn't do. I wish I could jump that high. I love Dwight Howard. A lot of people don't know that this is my first time saying that. So, but as a big brother, I ain't gonna let my little brother slide. So I want you to be better than me. So like a lot of people who don't understand this thing of ours, they think it's hate. No, it ain't hate. I'm telling you how to get here.
Yeah.
You know I'm here, dog. I'm telling you how to get here. If you don't want to get here,
that's on you.
And you know, and that's why I kind of had to like, you know, lay off them a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you describe it mentorship, and I think that's something that we obviously talk about all the time of people we look up to in our lives. That's on the court and that's off the court too. I know you have your hand in a bunch of different things off the court. This is something we're both starting. Trae is really use his platform to control his own narrative. And what advice would you give Trae as he's kind of starting to explore the marketplace a little bit outside of basketball?
I will always tell Trae, one, I call it single hand stress. So let me give you an example. My mother, my kids, my boys, my organization, my money. I give a fuck about what they think. See, right now it's too much information being spread and too many people have the word. If it don't make sense, don't care. I made this quote up for my kids. If a nobody can influence a somebody, then the nobody wins, right? But the question of the day is, who the fuck are you? Nobody. If you can't shoot from 10 feet, don't tell him how to fucking shoot
from 10 feet.
Right? I don't want to hear it. Mahmoud Abdul Rauf could give him some advice. They're in that same category. I can't. Right? But I know a good shot, bad shot, I can say it's a bad, but I can't tell him about his front. No, be quiet. So my advice to him is listen to those people. Your wife, your family, right? Second of all, do it your way. Do it your way. Because if you do it their way and it doesn't work out, you're still going to get the blame. If you do it your way and it doesn't work out, you can live with that because now you can go back and say, maybe I need to do this and I do that.
Yeah.
Whenever I did it my way, I would win. Whenever I did it their way, I end up getting traded. So just do it your way, continue to play, and continue to better yourself. And I don't know what motivates him, but jealousy always motivated me. Like right now, he's 2 or 3. I would be upset at that. Like, for example, I'm not trying to disrespect him, but I think Steph is a better shooter than him. I don't know how he feels about that, but if I was him, I'd be like, all right, Shaq, watch this shit. So I would always take stuff like that to just get me going. And like when you have that mentality, it will definitely drive you. And when it's all said and done, your name will be talked about indefinite. It's not who's the better shooter. I know him. Like first time I seen him, like I knew who he was, but I saw when he went back to the crib and some cat was challenging him and he fucking embarrassed that cat. This clip right here. That's for your editors. See that?
Yeah.
That's when I knew he had some dog.
Yeah.
I like him. Because like he coming back to show the town love, and this cat who not even in the league talking that shit, and he shut the motherfucking gym down. I said, he's one of us. Let me bring him over here. He's one of us. Met his parents, talked to his dad, know who his dad was, did my research, see how he grew up. I like this motherfucker Trae right here. Every time I see him. So I know when I jump on him, I know he knows how to decode it.
What would you say motivates you the most?
I mean, Shaq mentioned like about that name. You know what I'm saying? Like making sure you represent your name. Like for me, my grandpa who passed when I was 10 years old is who I prayed before, talked to before every game I step on the court. Like I'm representing not only the city and this organization and all my fans, but my last name. So like I want to represent it the right way, and I know. I mean, I want to win championships like that. That's only going to enhance that last name, enhance my family, enhance everything around me. So that's what motivates me is just making sure I protect my last name and making sure I represent it the right way.
Aside from, off the court and all that, this broadcasting thing is new for us too. We're about 6 months into podcasting. You've been in the game for a while now. What advice would you give?
I don't want to give you
Trae?
any advice. You're doing a beautiful job.
Thank you.
See, even though it's broadcasting, it's not. Just be yourself. We already got too many broadcasting shows. Nobody wants to see that shit. Be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like the podcast world is a great world because it gives regular people a chance to, everybody can't be Ernie. Everybody can't be Adam Lecco, but they give us the lane to be ourselves. No, bro, you 7 cameras, your crew, do what the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
People either gonna like it or they don't. But I don't give advice. It may sound like I'm giving advice. I'm not really giving you advice. I'm just giving you clues. But I'm not a podcast expert. That ain't my lane. Like I got a podcast very successful, but I'm not the podcast king. So I'm not Pat McAfee, those guys. So if you want to get an information guy that has 100 million subscribers, you could probably ask him this question. But I don't step outside my lane. Basketball shit, I'm that guy. But this thing right here, I think it's a beautiful show. That's why I did it. Did it because my guy right here, he's my guy. And if I can help you guys in any way, go viral and get more views and get more money, that's what you're supposed to do as older player. Dr. J did that shit for me. Dr. J and Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan and Barkley, it's like, young fella, come on in. So that's what I try to do for fellas. So I don't have no advice for you. Your shit's beautiful. And whoever don't like it, fuck them.
I know for me, like I can't get off this show without asking you about one of my favorite players, Kobe. Somebody who I was able to talk to and meet a couple times growing up as a kid. I know you have a lot of memories. What was one of your favorite memories as a teammate with them?
So all the stuff I do now with players, I did with him. Not saying that I made him great, but when you got a dog, you agitate him. When you got a killer pit bull, you don't pet him. You piss him off and make sure he stays that pit bull. So all the stuff I'm doing now is what I did with him. And it worked for him. So if it worked for him, hey, I'm trying to, motherfucker, you shooting too much. Motherfucker, you doing this. Motherfucker, this ain't your team. This my shit. Like, it's just because I needed him, right? And again, I already know what I'm going to do because I don't want motherfucking bums talking shit. I'm giving you 28-10.
Yeah.
Period. Free throws or not, that's what I'm doing every night. I don't want y'all talking that shit about me. What the fuck you going to do, Trae? You ain't going to do shit tonight. Motherfucking Atlanta's my city, right? Just to keep him going. Yeah. And it worked. So, because remember, Kobe wasn't always Kobe. Like when he came in, he was a young guy and he had to be molded. So those first 3 years, carry my bags. You ain't going to be like, and it just fucking drove him crazy. And he wanted to be great. He wanted to be better than me, what you're supposed to do. He wanted to be better than Mike. And it just kept going and boom, 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 boom. Like a lot of people ask me, what would you do different? I wouldn't do nothing different. Because it would be a better story if we didn't win any. Man, they couldn't get along, but it's not about getting along. It's about you doing your job, my doing my job, us making sure the others do our job, and we win championships. We won 3 out of 4. I wouldn't do nothing different. The reason why I got traded, not because we were having problems, because they wanted me to take less money. That ain't going to happen. It's not gonna happen. So, you know, but me being the marketing guy I made it, I don't fuck with you, but it's not like that in real life. And as a leader of the team, that's what I had to do to get him going. I don't want to be nice to that kid, but he had it all. And what I liked about him, because I'm the guy who used to do my thing. I'm not the guy that practice 7 hours a day. I don't need to. Like I hear a lot of people say, well, if Shaq would have worked out hard, I would have been what? I'd have been fucking Shaq. Motherfucker. I'm going to give you the same outcome. Would have been me. But I'm not the guy that's going to work 7 hours, because when I step on the court, I already know you can't guard me. So I'm not doing no extra working out. I'm coming into camp out of shape because I know I'm going to play back in shape. And by the end of the season, the playoffs, I'm busting your ass anyway. I don't care who I'm playing. But he was the guy that, right? And I knew that. So it was my job to make sure he always played at that level. What I loved about it the most is, especially like when we came to Atlanta, motherfucker, I'm going out. I'm gonna start off slow. Kobe, go ahead, you take it. And like he wanted it, so I'm like, Kobe. I would come in and say, Kobe, and 100 out of 100 times, Kobe, I need 40. Boom. Like the last game, we was messing around. I said, Kobe, I need 50. Motherfucker went out and got 60. He been doing that since not 18, since 20 years old. And I knew that, like, you know, if I needed him, we can do it. But I'm not the guy. He doesn't respond to nice. He responds like, well, fuck it, this my shit. And I knew it ate him up alive, but that was my tactic to keep him going. And, you know, a lot of people don't know that and don't understand that. But from the outside looking at it, they didn't get along. We got along enough to win 3 out of 4. So what the hell are you talking about? Because look, when I got double, I'm looking for him. And when he crossed up Peel at the top of the key, he looking for me for the lob. And that's what it's all about. Like, I don't know how you and your teammates are, but the respect always have to be there, bro. I'm not going out. When I go to a city, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do by myself. I'm going to a hookah bar, going to a movie. I ain't trying to eat dinner at Broad. I just saw you practicing on the plane ride. Get away from me. But on that court, double team, Rick Fox. Double team, Big Shot Bot. You had to show the respect. So, you know, a lot of people who don't really know our story, they're going to always say, but no. But the same things I'm doing with these players now is the exact same thing I did with him. I egged him on to the point he was so pissed off at me. But it worked out in everybody's favor.
It definitely did. It definitely did. There are some common questions that I feel like the fan, myself, like you said, you have that G4, but you have that general, you know, G14 classification that I'll never have. So I'm still a fan of the game. I'm happy to say that. I'll always be a fan of the game. What is one common misconception about today's game that you don't feel like the fan behind the scenes understands?
I think a lot of us, including myself, we wanted to be like when we played. I have to accept that it's different. I don't like all you guys running the same pick and roll play. That bothers me. But it's how it is. We got to respect it. We got to expect it. So I try to get away from it, but it's just different. I played an era where the flagrant fouls y'all are getting were not flagrant fouls. So a lot of us, we think it's soft, but we have to get away from that. I realize it's their time. It's not our time, and we have to get away from that. And I'm going to try. But, you know, the fact that the big men are up there when it comes to the MVP category, that makes me happy. But as a fan, I don't like watching 2017s run the same pick and roll, dribble, handoff. I don't like that, but we have to accept it.
Yeah.
The game was definitely different back in the day. Like, I mean, for me, like I appreciate you coming on.
Anything for you, my guy.
Like you a legend, and you know I'm
gonna stay on you only because I love you.
I already know.
Okay, cool.
Like I'm accept everywhere.
If I got something personal to say, I got your number, but it ain't gonna never be like that. But because again, we're both in the same category. If shit go bad, they're looking at you. They're not looking at Clint. They're not looking at DeJounte Murray. They're looking at the man. And the day you accept that is the day your game gonna be even better. So you have to lead them. You have to play great every night, which you can't have no games off, and you just gotta do what you do.
Well, one thing that I've already taken from you, and you ain't even told me, is just from listening to you, is great players can't have 2 bad games in a row.
Never.
And
never.
And so that's something I've always thought about, and there's constant things. So I'm always listening to you, so I appreciate it.
And don't make people change your game. Just tighten it up. Like, I don't mind you shooting 35 foot long, the motherfuckers go in.
Yeah,
They
I
don't
got
go
you.
in, Trae. Bring that shit to 29, 30, 28, 29. That's all.
Yeah.
I got you.
Man,
Legend.
this is amazing. We appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you anytime.
From the point.
Much props to
I'll
you.
do the outro later.
Yeah.
Man, forget it. Like
Yeah.
this is so
Luka
dope, man.
Doncic looking motherfucker.
This is so dope.
Another
Shaq, appreciate
episode
you,
of
man.
From the
Thank
Point
you.
by your favorite point. We out.
Peace. Y'all heard that? I just got stamped by Shaq. Definitely couldn't get out of here without thanking our presenting sponsor Sprite for that crisp lemon lime taste. It's a clear favorite. Peace.